You may have heard this sound speeding down a local waterway in the North Country, but this is the sound of an antique race boat, otherwise known as a vintage hydroplane. Although out of the water now, these boats have a long-running history, which for some spans back over 50 years on the St. Lawrence River and local water bodies.
Some of these boats are quite old boats. The boats in back of me are from the early 50s, and it's all been restored. The engines have been restored.
These boats, made specifically for racing in calm bays or smaller lakes, almost look like spaceships and easily can go over 100 miles per hour.
Some of the hydroplanes are inboard. The rest of the hydroplanes are outboard. Outboards were driven on your on your knees, and the larger hydroplanes were driven with a chair and a foot pedal.
Many of these boats were on display right along the St. Lawrence River in Chippewa Bay during the last week of July. Featured boats included hydroplanes raced by award-winning drivers, fully restored antique boats for sale, handmade racing boats, and active racing vessels pulled out of the water just for the show. Joining the show were ones who told their own stories and recollected their time with the sport. This included racing pro Hunter Grimes, who got his start through both his grandfather and father's racing careers. Grimes now spends most weekends touring the country with his race boats.
My grandfather was a pretty famous racer back in the 50s and 60s, back when guys actually did racing as a career or did a living at it. He was very successful, and when he passed away in 1998, my dad said, we're gonna do that because that's what we should be doing. So we started then, and I was in and out of the sport for a couple of years, but stuck with it, and it's been 20-some years now and still going strong.
And now, boat collectors, retired and active racers alike, are working to keep the vintage boat racing tradition alive in the North Country, ultimately hoping to share their passion with younger generations.
I hope the younger people appreciate the older stuff, and I think that's a problem these days. There's not a good connection with younger people and older things.
It's great to see the younger children get an interest of it, and a lot of them, because of it's not well known, they see something like this, and when you tell them you can do that someday, and they just go crazy. It's a family-oriented sport. Everyone, you're with the same group of people every weekend, all summer long. It's just, there's a lot of camaraderie, and friendships are amazing.
And when it comes to boats like these, the history is irreplaceable. For ABC 50 Now here in Chippewa Bay, I'm Isabella Colello.
For more local news, go to informnny.com or download the ABC 50 mobile app.